We are starting structural organization in animals, and let's start. Finish this chapter already. I'm late today. Hope within a given sort of time get completed, and I have other tasks to do. Let's start without further ado. Okay, structural organization in animals. In the preceding chapters, you come across a large variety of organisms, both unicellular and multicellular, of the animal kingdom. In unicellular organism, all the functions like the digestion, respiration, reproduction are performed by single cell. In the complex body of multicellular animals, the same basic functions are carried out by the different group of cells in a well organized manner. The body of a simple organism like the hydra is made up of different types of cells, and the number of cells in each type can be of thousands. The human body is composed of the billion of the cells to perform a various functions. How do these cells in our body together work together? In multicellular organisms, animals, a group of similar cells along with the intercellular substances perform a specific function organization is called such an organization is called as tissue. You may be surprised to know that all the complex animal consist of only four basic type of tissues. These tissues are organized in a specific proportion and pattern to form an organism like the stomach, lung, heart, kidney. When two or more organs perform a common function, their physical or chemical interaction, they together form an organ system, digestive system, respiratory system, etc. Cells, tissues, organs, and the organ system split up the work in a way that exhibit division of labor and contribute to the survival of the body as a whole. Animal tissue. The structure of the cell vary according to their function. Therefore, the tissue are different and are broadly classified into the four types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and the neural tissue. Epithelial tissue. We commonly refers to an epithelial tissue as epithelium. Epithelia in plural. This tissue has a free surface which faces either a body fluid or the outside the environment, and thus provide a covering to the lining of the some parts of the body. The cells are compactly packed with a little intercellular matrix. These are two types of epithelial tissues, namely simple epithelium and the compound epithelium. The simple epithelium is composed of the single layer of the cells and function as the lining for the body cavity, ducts, and the tubes. The compound epithelium consists of the two or more cell layer and has a protective function as it does in our skin. On the basis of the structural modification of the cell, simple epithelium is further divided into the three types. These are the squamous, cuboidal and columnar. फ्लैट सेल्स डायग्राम में देख लेते हैं सिंपल इपिथेलियम का, जिसमें स्क्वामस फ्लैट सेल्स हैं, क्यूबॉइडल ट्यूब लाइक शेप्स है, columnar cells bearing the cilia. Diagram. The squamous epithelium is made up of single thin layer of the flattened cell with the irregular boundaries. They are found in the blood vessels and air sacs of the lung and are involved in the functions like forming a diffusion boundary. The cuboidal epithelium is composed of the single layer of cube-like cells. This is commonly found in the ducts of gland and the tubular parts of the nephron in the kidney, and its main function are secretion and absorption. The epithelium of the PCT of the nephron in a kidney has a microvilli. The columnar epithelium is composed of the single layer of the tall cylinder cells. Their nuclei are located at the base. Free surface may have microvilli. They are found in the lining of the stomach and intestine and help in the secretion and absorption. If the if the columnar or the cuboidal cells bear cilia on their free surface, they are called as epithelial ciliated epithelials. Their function is to move particles on the or the mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. They are mainly present in the inner surface of hollow organs like the bronchioles and fallopian tubes. Some of the columnar and the cuboidal cells get specialized for the secretion and are called as the glandular epithelium. They are mainly of the two types. The unicellular consists of isolated glandular cells, goblet cells of the alimentary canal, and multicellular consists of the clusters of the salivary glands. Clusters of the cell, example salivary gland. Unicellular consists of the isolated gland called isolated glandular cells. Specialized glandular epithelial gland. On the basis of the mode of the pouring of their secretion, glands are divided into the two categories, namely exocrine and endocrine glands. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, EFS, oil, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. These products are released through the ducts or the tubes. In contrast, the endocrine gland do not have ducts. Their product called the hormones are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Compound epithelium is made of more than one layer, multi-layered of the cell, and thus has a limited role in the secretion and absorption. Their main function is to provide protection against chemicals like the mechanical stress. They cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, lining, inner lining of the ducts of the salivary gland, and pancreatic ducts. The cells in the epithelium are held together with the little intercellular material in nearly all the animal tissues. A specialized junction provides both structural and functional links between its individual cells. Three types of cell junctions are found in the epithelium and other tissues. These are called as tight adhering and gap junctions. Tight junction help to stop the substances from the leaking across the tissue. Tight junction Tight junction help in stop substances from leaking across a tissue. Adhering junction perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjoining cells for rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes big molecule. Now come on the topic of connective tissue. Here's the diagram: unicellular goblet cells and multicellular salivary glands. Example में आ जाते हैं. Glandular epithelium are of two types. ठीक है. Mhm. Connective tissue help in repairing of the tissue. Connective tissue का repair में काम होता है, ठीक है. Connective tissue are most abundant and widely distributed in the body of the complex animals. They are named connective tissue because of their special functions of linking and supporting the other tissues organs of the body. They range from soft connective tissue to the specialized type, which include the cartilage, bones, adipose, and blood. In all the connective tissues except the blood, the cells secrete fibers of the structural protein called the collagen or the elastin. Collagen का ही दूसरा नाम elastin. Collagen, collagen or elastin. The fibers provide strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. These cells also secrete modified polysaccharides, which accumulates between the cells and the fibers and act as a matrix ground substance. Connective tissue are classified into three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissues, and specialized connective tissues. Loose connective tissues has cells and fibers loosely arranged in the semi-fluid substance, for example areolar tissues present beneath the skin. Often it serves as a support framework for the epithelium. It contains fibroblast cells that produce and secrete fibers. Macrophages and the mast cells ये सब मिलती हैं. Adipose tissue is another type of loose connective tissue located mainly beneath the skin. The cells of this tissue are specialized to store the fat. The excess nutrients which are not used immediately are converted into the fat and are stored in this tissue. Fibers are fibroblasts and are compactly packed in the dense connective tissues. Orientation of the fibers show a regular or the irregular pattern and are called the dense. Regular and dense. Irregular. In the dense regular connective tissues, the collagen fibers are present in a row between many parallel bundles of the fibrous tendons which are attached with the skeletal muscles to the bone, ligaments and ligaments which are attached bone to another are for example of these tissues. Dense irregular connective tissues are has the fibroblast and many fibers, mostly collagen, that are oriented differently. This tissue is present in the skin. Diagram. एरियोलर टिश्यू में हमें मैक्रोफेज फिब्रोब्लास्ट कोलेजन फाइबर्स दिखाए गए, मास्ट सेल्स दिखाई गई है. देन देयर इज अ डायग्राम ऑफ द एडिपोज टिश्यू. फ्लैट स्टोर्ड एरिया, फैट स्टोरिंग एरिया है, न्यूक्लियस इसका पेरीफेरी में है और प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन प्रेजेंट है. फिर यहाँ पे डेंस रेगुलर एंड इरेगुलर कनेक्टिव टिश्यूज के डिवीजन के दो डायग्राम दिखाए गए हैं. डेंस रेगुलर में हमें फाइबर्स हैं पैरेलली अरेंज्ड हैं रेगुलर पैटर्न में, और यहाँ पे डेंस रेगुलर में लूजली. Bones and blood are various types of specialized connective tissues. The intercellular material of the cartilage is solid and pliable and resist compression. Cells of this tissue, chondrocytes, are enclosed in the small cavity within the matrix secreted by them. Most of the cartilage in vertebrates embryo are replaced by bone in adults. Cartilage is present in the tip of nose, outer ear, between the joints, bones of the vertebral column, limbs and hands in adults. Bone has a hard and non-pliable ground substance rich in calcium and collagen fibers which give bone its strength. It is the main tissue that provides the structural framework to the body. Bones support and protect softened tissues and organs. The bone बोन सेल को ऑस्टियोसाइट्स कहा जाता है, आर प्रेजेंट इन द स्पेस कॉल्ड द lacunae. Limbs, bones such as the long bones of legs serve weight-bearing function. They also interact with the skeletal muscles attached to them to bring about the movement. The bone marrow in some bones is the site of production of the blood cells. Blood is a fluid connective tissue containing the plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and the platelets. It is the main circulating fluid that help in the transport of the various substances you will learn more about in chapter 17 and 18. Muscle tissue. Each muscle is made up of many long cylindrical fibers arranged parallel raised to arrays. These fibers are composed of the numerous fine fibrils called the myofibrils. Muscle fibers contract, shorten in response to the stimuli, and relax and lengthen and return to their uncontracted state in a coordinated fashion. Their action moves the body to adjust the changes in the environment and to maintain the position of the various parts of the body. Maintain the various positions of the parts of the body. In general, muscles play an active role in all the movements of the body. Muscles are the three types: skeletal muscles, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle. Skeletal muscle tissue closely attached to the skeletal bones in the typical muscles such as the biceps, triceps, uh, skeletal muscle fibers are bundled together in a parallel fashion. A sheath of tough connective tissue encloses the several bundles of the muscle fiber. You will learn more about in chapter 20. The smooth muscle fibers taper at both ends, fusiform, and do not show striations. Cell junctions held them together and they are bounded together in a connective tissue sheath. The wall of the internal organs such as blood vessels, stomach, and intestine contains this type of muscle tissue. The walls of internal organs such as the blood vessels, stomach, and intestine containing this type of muscle tissue. Smooth muscles are involuntary होती हैं as their function cannot be directly controlled. We usually do not able to make it contract merely by thinking about it as we do with skeletal muscles. Cardiac muscles tissue is contracts contractile tissue present only in the heart. Cell junctions fuse with the plasma membrane of the cardiac muscle cells and make them to stick together. Communication junctions, intercalated disc at some fusion points allow them to contract as a unit. They receives these then one of the cell receive a single null to contract its neighbors are also stimulate to contract. Axon cell body with nucleus, dendrites, and nuclei. Neural tissue. Neural tissue exert the greatest control over the body's responsiveness to changing condition. Neurons, the unit of neural system, are excitable cells. The neuroglial cells, which constitute the rest of the neural system, protect and support the neurons. Neuroglia make up more than one half of the volume of the neural tissue in our body. Then a neuron is suitably stimulated, an electrical disturbance is generated which swiftly travel along its plasma. Membrane. Arrival of the distribution at the neuron ending or output zone trigger events that may cause stimulatory or inhibition of adjacent neuron and other cells. That's finish of this chapter. Diagram देख लेंगे हम लोग. So with that, we have completed the structure organization in animals, and one task is completed, but still I have to read some points from the notes too and learn some basic tissues are present in our body which are frequently asked in the examinations. And after that, last chapter is remaining, that is a cell. I will complete it on the 7th August. With that, we have completed this chapter, and there's lot of work still left to do. Today, I don't achieve much, but I wasted a lot of time today because I waste a lot of time scrolling the YouTube videos. Has realization that I have wasted, and today's screen time is post, which eventually opened my eyes. I have to be control on my fingers, eyes, and brain. From tomorrow, the use of phone will be kept at minimum, and I will log this in Almira to avoid watching unnecessary YouTube videos which are consuming my precious time. So, with that, good night. Let's end up the session. It's great to finish this. Have a nice day.